Does dating get easier or harder as you get older?
Harder.
Way harder.
Why do you think that?
From my experience, it gets harder because I feel like as I've gotten older, my expectations are different. And I'm looking for something different than when I was younger. The things that
Are they higher or lower than they was when you were younger?
I would say they're higher, they're more intentional. Like I'm looking at things that are not necessarily visible.
Okay.
Versus when I was younger, like certain things didn't bother me. It wouldn't bother me if a guy didn't have a job or if he didn't go to like because I wasn't thinking about that. I was more thinking about in the moment when I had less to really consider. But as I've gotten older, I'm into more substantial qualities. So it makes it harder because you might like, one or two things about a person, but they might be lacking in something that I consider very important. And so therefore we could be friends, but we wouldn't be able to, have anything
or build
serious or to move forward with the friendship, so to speak. So it's definitely harder.
I don't think.
Is it me? Like she said, and for most women, I think as they get older, their standards seem to go higher, right? But I think as for men, and I speak for, I think not for all men, but maybe for majority of men, as we get older, our standards come down, but they become a little bit rigid as well. What do I mean by that? Maybe when we're younger, we want a woman who goes out, parties all the time. Is it, if she's loud or this, we don't care. Like we can put up with a little bit more. But when we get older, we want a few things, but they're very, they're very important. So don't disturb my peace. So don't argue with me. Be supportive. Be good looking. That's it. Majority of men will go with that. But as women, they get older, the list becomes even way longer.
I think it's harder.
You think it's easier?
It's not easier, no harder.
It's the same.
It's not. Because it's not the same. Let me explain.
It's nothing. It's not the same. Like,
okay, let me not even ask that question. Okay, I can speak from it's subjective at this point, right? Because this is how I feel. This is how I view it.
Yeah.
As a grown woman, and then you entertain somebody that, there's like they're not the same age as you, but mentally, like, oh my gosh, like you guys connect. They're smart, they're intelligent, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like it's harder because there are people that are young that want the same thing that you might want in their current age. So I feel like mentally, if that person is mature enough, they can match up to me. It's hard for me to date somebody that's younger though, but I'm just saying if your paths align, the age is just that's the only gap. Like that's the only thing. But as far as like, because I'm in my 30s and you're in your 20s, mean that we want two different things. It may not be that's the case for me. I look at the mental and where are you in your life? Because there's a lot of 20-year-old men that are winning right now. Like they have their house already. They're in good, they're entrepreneurs. They're making 6, 7, 8 figure. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, where are you? And like, how do you even carry a conversation? It's the simple things for me. So I would, in the beginning, I would say like, yeah, there is that issue of, I'm older now and these young men and these men don't know what they want. But from what I've been experiencing, I just feel like it's just the mental at this point. I just don't really think that's what it is.
I think men know what they want. I haven't had that experience. I'm a little older than you.
Okay.
So I think men know what they want very, very much so. I don't think it's that. I think the reason why it's a little harder is because you want, like, for me, I'm not interested in seeing multiple people. Like I don't have the time, I don't have the patience.
Right.
I want to like really be into a person, and so in order to do that, you're gonna come into contact with people who you need to kind of vet and kind of see like where their mindset is, where they are, what they're actually looking for. If I meet a guy and he tells me like I don't want to be serious, I respect that, and we're gonna be friends.
Right.
Like you know what I mean. I'm not gonna try to push back on it. I'm not gonna try to prove you to pick me. none of that. You know what I mean? So as that goes on, you meet a lot of people. Like there's a lot of suitors. However, you weed people out, and you really want to have someone who you look forward to seeing. You want to spend time with. You don't want to just have multiple people who you're wasting time with. Oh, I'm gonna hang out with you this day, that
Right.
day. I'm gonna do a random text. Text messages. You really want to have
But that could be
somebody
at any
who
age,
you,
though. That could be at
right.
that
But
any
I
age.
feel like when you're younger, like I didn't have the same values, so to speak.
And I think
Okay.
that
So
even when we were younger, we didn't have all the shit we have right now.
Right.
Mm.
Social media and none of that. It was like little hit and misses like MySpace and
we
shit
had
like that.
social media.
But it wasn't
Don't
like
drag it.
I think it wasn't as
I
prevalent.
had
It's
MySpace.
not as
We
prevalent
had
as it is now.
been around.
These kids actually live for this shit right now. We didn't have to live for it. We walked to places. Remember, we had teen parties. When the last time you were at a teen party?
Right, yeah.
When the
That's
last time somebody dubbed it on in a club? Like,
right.
yeah.
W.
Yeah, man. I think social media did a number on relationships and dating, because a girl may have a friend, or actually she may not even have a friend. She may be the kind of girl who doesn't care too much about a man's money. Okay, sure, she cares a man to be stable, but she doesn't care about going trips to Dubai and Jamaica and things like that. And then she'll open Instagram, see all these girls taking trips, and then she's gonna look at her man like, how come he's not taking me to trips? But they have men who are taking them to trips. And also, before social media, a man was not afraid of his girl receiving over 100 DMs in inbox in her phone. But now, as a man, you're dating, but if you know your woman is on social media, best believe she has men in her inbox. Now, whether she opens those messages or not, but just know they're gonna be guys in her inbox. Either they're taller, they got more money, or something. So anytime you guys have an issue in a relationship, the chances of her going left or right are very high.
So I get what you're saying, but I think that what we're going through now is not the same as it was before.
Yeah.
Like we had
social media.
we
wasn't
had
on
to
your
go
phone.
out and
I think
Bitch
social
by itself, like,
media
when it
is
came to
what's
that.
messing it up at this point, honestly.
Yeah.
Social media has a lot.
There's another thing too, though. It doesn't. That plays a part, but
Right.
y'all gotta understand too. Like women with okay, so as women get older,
Mhm.
Right.
their value is not as much. As men mature and get older, they get money. They have more of the pick of the litter. You get what I'm
Yes,
saying? So
yes, that's
women now some women have babies, which
Mhm.
with a successful dude, he's not trying to be with a woman that has a child because that might be a
Right.
setback for him. So
right.
it plays a part and it's different. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I
Well,
think
what's
it's
your-
all subjective because I have a child already, and whomever my actual person will be,
Mm.
I would prefer them to have a child already.
Okay.
But if my younger self would be like, no, he has to come clean, no kids, no this, no now. Come if you have a child, perfect, because I don't want no more. And right, and then like if you've been married before, okay, let's see on what terms it ended. But at the end of the day, like everything does, like the little things that we looked back at and be like, this person had to be this, had to be that. I look at myself and I'm looking at my older self like, what is wrong with you? Like
Right,
that wasn't
right.
even.
And-
look at that now.
And
like,
what I'm attracted to has changed totally. You know what I'm
for
saying?
real, but
And I like a lot of times as a younger woman, we entertained dudes we knew
But
we
that's
wasn't really
that's when
feeling
y'all. But
him,
that's when
we
y'all have the
wasn't
power, though.
Right, exactly.
And y'all, I mean, I would
exactly.
say some women will use poor choice after that, with-
Right,
with
right,
that power.
absolutely.
But you live
let
and
me
you
ask you a
learn.
question. You said that you wouldn't date a guy if he had children. Like
I
if he
would
didn't have,
prefer.
you prefer it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I'm
I
not
was
saying
gonna
I
say, what if
would.
you vibe with somebody that didn't have kids?
That's what I'm saying. I have deleted the list. I no
Mhm.
longer have a list.
Mm.
There is
Mhm.
no list.
Mm.
Dating my type is not working for me. So how am I insane to keep doing the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Like delete that list. And I
Right.
would encourage everyone to delete that list. Obviously have boundaries and standards and things that you're not going to settle for.
Right.
But this, he got to be 6, this, he got to be that, he got to be, all my followers know, like I remember posting in the beginning of the year saying, I'm going to delete my list.
Mm.
My man no longer needs to be 6 something. He no
Mhm.
longer has to be dark skinned, even though I prefer. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the little things now, because when you connect with someone,
It's
no matter how
Right.
their age, well,
Mm.
obviously you don't want minors, but like the little
Yeah.
gap, because people look at me and they think I'm 20 something. No, I'm not. But if we connect here and you can stimulate and we can have a conversation and you're going places and you don't have to now, like, oh, my man got to have his own house, but at least you have your apartment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, delete that list because it will hinder you from meeting your person. Don't let social
Definitely.
media come in and be like all these pretty videos that you seen people posting, and that it makes people depressed thinking that you can't find a man. No, sis, that man probably knocked at your door already, but you chose not to because he did not match what was on the list.
Yeah.
Facts. And shout out to her for being introspective and, you know, being self-aware, because so many women have this list of things they want in a man, and they swear for God, if a man doesn't meet a certain requirement, that he's not the man for them, and they're going to be feeling that they're going to be settling. It's like we've seen women reject men who are 6 feet because they're too short, and the women are 6'4", 6'5", rather 5'4", 5'5". They're way shorter than the guy, but because he's not 6'5" and he's just 6 feet, he's too short. So shout out to her, but I don't think majority of women are going to ditch the list of requirements they want, because for them that's settling and they don't want to settle.